Hey, welcome to the LTP Lounge, episode number 18. It's just me, Mark, right now for the moment. Udi's going to be coming on soon, but I just wanted to get this thing started on time. Um, so tonight, I was going to go over some of the design changes, the new concept art um, that got released like a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago already now for the new entrance. And also the Coco art, and we're going to talk about Avatar as well, plus some of the news. All right, let's get to it. Hey there. All right, well, I'm back. Hope everyone's doing okay out there tonight. Um, so I'm trying to wing it here until Udi gets on. If anyone wants to join in, let me know. We can get that thing going as well. Um, let's see. I hope everyone's doing all right this evening. We're just about to kick off the whole summer festivities here at the parks. And the Disneyland 70th will actually officially, well, it already kicked off in May, but I think its second birthday is going to be July 17th. That's when the Walt animatronic comes online. So yeah, that's all coming up. We're about I don't know, what is it? What is today? We are less than a month away. It's June 26th, I think, today. So yeah, that part's great. That's coming up. But I really want to get through some of the news that actually came out the last couple days. I think yesterday or the day before. And I'm going to talk about this with Udi when he gets on. And that is Pirates of the Caribbean right now is going to be going back to standby only. No more Lightning Lane or Fast Pass after that. So yeah, that part's great. And that's something that's long overdue. So I'm happy about that. Also, we've got what else is breaking news? There was something else that's breaking news. Soaring over California, or Soaring over the world, has a new a redo of the Paris scene with the Eiffel Tower not being bent anymore. So that part's good. So those are two actual positives about that. But I really want to get into the concept art of this stuff, and it's actually a lot better when there's two people doing it. Hold on, that's Hootie right now. Yeah, Udi's trying to get on right now. If someone's going to wait for that, I don't have any viewers, so that's not that big of a deal. It's just me talking. Shoot. Okay, well, I guess I'll keep rambling on until Udi gets here. I don't have any plans to go to the park for the summer stuff yet. Sort of thinking about maybe doing something in the fall or the early winter, probably late fall. But I definitely want to go. Been looking at some of the merchandise for the 70th, and I think it looks pretty good. Yeah. Okay. So we got Udi back on right now, and we are live. Yo, what's up?
Restream, man.
Well, we are live. So
Oh, apologies. That was
no
weird.
worries. No worries. I was trying to wing it here by myself.
I was expecting the "Where are you?" text any second.
Oh, I was about to text you, but time got away from me. So
Yeah. All good. All
oh,
good.
oh, good. So yeah, I was just basically talking about some of the latest news that came out already today or yesterday, and that
Okay.
was the first thing is that on July 1st, Pirates goes off of Fast Pass. It's going to be standby only.
Good news.
So our lightning lane or something, whatever it was. Yeah, all that's gone. So yeah, I knew you'd be stoked with
Oh
that.
yeah, I'm way happy for that.
Yeah.
Should have never been, but hey.
No, it should have never been. And then the other part was that soaring over the world, they have a redo on the with the new Eiffel Tower.
Mm-hmm. I saw that, which is another good thing.
Leon Terra, wing it hard. Yeah, I know. I'm trying to talk about stuff on my own. It's not so easy because I can't. I just like, yeah, this and this and this. What do you think? Oh, I think that sounds great.
Yeah, we're good though. We're good.
Yeah. I was just explaining that I don't have any immediate plans to go to the park, even though I want to.
Right.
I'm thinking probably sometime in the fall. My parents want to go. What about you? Have you gotten any closer to that?
If it's gonna be this year, it'll be in that area, in that fall,
Okay.
in that window.
Excellent.
Yeah. We shall see though.
Does the Disney 70th get you interested in
No, it has
It doesn't.
honestly. None of the things that they're offering, any of that kind of stuff, makes it like for me anything more like I really want to go. You know what I mean? The
Yeah.
park is always good, no matter when. I don't need it to be a celebration. I don't need it to be, an event or anything like that for me to be like, now I'm gonna go.
Sure. Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't need to be like an event for me either. And I don't have FOMO either.
Yeah.
No, you do?
Well, no. I mean, yeah, no. It's been a while, so I have the general FOMO, not like event FOMO, just like general FOMO for missing the park.
Oh, general. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What's the one thing you miss the most about it? Actually, two things you miss the most about it right now.
The general atmosphere, the feeling you get when you're there.
Yeah.
We talk about it often, the feeling of kind of like being home, but then yet, you don't know what every day is going to bring, even though you've been there 100 times, thousands of times for some, and
Right.
hundreds and hundreds of times, but it still changes. So that, and the fun I have with the people I go with. Yeah. So whether it be you guys or anybody, the friends or the family, to be fair, that's kind of like the biggest. Those are the two biggest things.
Yeah, for sure.
Which are kind of, they're interrelated, but yeah, I mean, then you want to go back and then having the, the nostalgia of when you're a kid. I mean, the whole, connecting everything together. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Fully understood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I keep thinking about that. If we lived within an hour of the park scenario, I mean, there's been plenty of days like in the last couple of weeks, I would have just, hey, dude, let's go. Let's go grab a quick lap and grab something to eat and then come home.
Yeah. Like it would be like, it would be the thing is like, it would be another thing to do, but it's something that's even better than a normal thing.
Oh yeah, it's more than a thing to do, but
Yeah, like, going to a movie or going to go eat or whatever you can do. Like, what we did last weekend, hanging out, going to a restaurant with a bunch of people.
yeah, yeah,
All fun, all good, but different when you're there.
for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So, anyways, that's good. Nice little session here. Be listening in the future. If you like what you're seeing, click and subscribe. Although you probably don't like the first 5 minutes of this, it was a train wreck.
I have to watch it back.
No, don't watch it. It's just me going, well, I'm going to wait for Udi because I know he's coming on.
Yeah.
So, how's everyone doing? Then there's no one even watching. So, anyway, what's that?
Oh, no, because I feel like almost every time we get on here, no, I see three. 1, 2, 3, 3, 2.
2, yep.
Yeah, I feel like every time we get on here, like something's different about Restring. That's why I was kind of like, what's going on when I got
yeah.
I'm like, why is that? Like, why did it kick me over here? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay. So I had to go back to the basics. That's why it took me forever to figure it out. Anyway, so.
Yo, Leon, I like train wrecks. Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Nah.
He's sitting there with a thing of popcorn watching it as it's gone.
No, man, I don't want Leon critiquing what we're doing. That's too nerve-wracking for me.
Why?
Because he's always good at this kind of stuff, and I'm not good at it.
Critiques are good.
Yeah, critiquing's good.
Yeah.
It helps you get better.
Yeah.
So what, you want to delve into some of the concept art? Because I know you were looking at the concept art the other day when we were doing.
Are we talking about Avatar?
All 3 of the new. Do you want to do Avatar first, or do you want to do?
Yeah, because then I can kind of go off on it, and then we can end on a happier note.
Okay. Do you want me to get Google Maps up as well?
Up to you. I'm just riding along. You're driving.
Okay. While I'm doing that, let's get. You want Avatar up, yeah?
Yeah. Oh, that's weird. Okay.
I have to somehow figure out how to keep this.
We can take us off the screen. We don't need to be up there. If you want to, we can.
You don't want to? Okay.
No, we don't have to be up there. If it's better to see the concept art, we don't have to be up on screen.
Yeah, it's probably better this way.
Yeah. Well, remind me now. This is the one that has been out for a minute, is it not, or is this new?
This is the latest and greatest version of what they offered.
Because it was super similar to what it was before. I remember it being a little bit more grandiose, if you want to use that word.
Yeah.
The earlier concept art.
Yep.
I feel like this is a little bit more tampered down a bit, or am I wrong with that? Because I remember it being a lot more trying to act like there's a lot more going on.
Well, this is a ground level view.
Right.
So yeah, this was just released the same day that they talked about. Well, here's another one. Let's see if I can get this thing going for you. Let me share the screen that I think you're talking about. Geez Louise. So many things here. Okay. I think you're thinking of this.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was the very first picture we got
Right.
of this. I don't think it's going to look anything like that, to be honest.
No, definitely not. So when you look at that one, right? We talked about that and how we couldn't picture where that could possibly go, and we had many discussion on whether or not that was even feasible with the existing footprint of the park.
Yeah.
Like we all came to the conclusion that anything like that would not in any way, shape, or form fit in the current footprint of the park.
Right.
Hence why we went down the road of like this. If it's going to be something remotely as cool as this, they're purporting it to be, then it's got to be maybe the anchor for Disney Ford or in that arena, right? That's what our discussions were.
Yes.
Then they came up with what just came out. And that is why I'm saying, like, when you look at that latest one.
Well, we've got this, and then they did submit 2 other pictures from the beginning. There's this, but doesn't really tell us. This doesn't tell us a story whatsoever.
No.
Because this could be indoors, right?
Yes. That could be screen. That could be animatronic. I'm gonna bet money it's probably a screen.
A screen. Yeah.
Definitely. That's definitely going to be whatever their attraction in that area. If they put it in, I just feel like it's going to be really short. But yeah. So when you look at the new,
well, remember we've got this one.
This one too. Here's another one. So these are the 3 that we got initially when they talked about Avatar Experience / then Bob Iger called it Avatar Land, and then yada yada.
This is April of 2024, so we've had it for well over a year.
Well over a year that this came out, and again, these are all the things we picked apart, and we all kind of said, "There's no way, there's no way, there's no way, there's no way." Looking at the size of the lagoon, the waterfall, the rock work, all that kind of stuff, we're like, no.
Well, that rock work might still be feasible. I mean, might be. It might actually be feasible to do that rock work. That's going to be hiding a show building. Show
building, which I think we talked about the last show, or the show is coming up. One of the we talked about it often. I think that may be all of what they kind of did with Rise. Now, for anybody who hasn't been on Rise of the Resistance, I think or anybody going to be watching this later. We know that in the queue, in the Rise, there is a waterfall, a small waterfall, but it's kind of tucked away in the rock work.
Yeah.
Looking at that kind of mentality, looking at what they have here, you can think, okay, well, that could be the top of the ride building, and that could all be exterior things to cover or obfuscate or disguise the queue or anything like that, right?
Yep.
So those are all things that, looking at it, kind of makes a little bit more sense. And looking at this one that they just released, it gives you a little bit, in my mind, a little bit better perspective on what it's really going to be. Okay, so when you look at this, right, this is another. This is more to scale. Okay, if I would put it that way. One of the things that was a critique of the first initial releases of the art was that it was really, the scale was really off, and it was like a lot of people were using that to pick it apart, as we did as well. Looking at this is a little bit different. Okay, looking at this, having it being ground view, looking towards the rock work, now you kind of go like, okay, this might actually be a little bit more feasible.
Yes.
Here's the thing about this one, though. Looking at this one, it makes me feel like it's going to be nothing but green, shrubbery, that kind of, mood setting, and then the one attraction in the corner. And that's going to be it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So what I find interesting in that one is the lack of any kind of concession stands, lack of any kind of merchandising, and we all know Disney loves their merch. So looking at it makes you kind of go like, huh, what are they going to do with that? Because they're going to do it. So the only thing that this newer art tells me. Okay, see, no. So Leon has a very good question. Nobody knows for sure what it is.
No.
No one knows. As far as we know, there is one attraction that will be in that.
Yep.
Other than that, nobody knows. Nobody in the public knows. Hence why we speculate as much as we have been.
No, yeah, no one knows what it is whatsoever. But there's a lot of interesting things I think going on in this artwork. You know, in the background, you can actually see. Well, first off, this is a much tamer version than what we got a year ago, don't you think?
Yes, I mean you brought them up, so you can see it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Like this waterfall is not as grandiose as the previous one.
Correct. A lot more tamer, much more tame. Yeah.
But so this, man, dude, I am curious and I am cautiously optimistic, I guess is the term I have for this, because you're right. There's not any sort of, well, I'm not sure that you want to have merchandise in here anyways. It might take away from the experience, but I mean, sure, outside of this area, they're going to have merchandise and concession stands or a restaurant or something.
Right. Well, and here
is this, go ahead.
This is kind of my point, that it feels shoehorned in, and it isn't going to deliver anything than this kind of like, oh, cool, yay, next kind of feeling.
Right.
I just don't see some nice, a nice land or area, which is going to be themed beautifully. Then you go into an attraction, which is going to be themed properly, and the work is going to be done well. But then you're going to go into that, and you're going to go on a water ride.
Yes, you're going to go. Yes.
Mind you, that this, in tandem with the Coco ride, will now make three water-based attractions in DCA.
Oh, yeah.
So 3 water-based attractions in DCA, and you've got 1 in Disneyland proper.
Oh, right.
I don't know what else. I mean, I find that weird and interesting that they would go for 3, and I don't even know how much more. Well, apologies. There's 2 in Disneyland proper. I forgot about the other one.
Oh yeah.
Actually, now I'm thinking about it, there's 3, because there's a few there, right? There's Pirates. Look, I'm way off now. Now I'm really thinking about it. Now I'm way off. So apologies. So it's Pirates. Then I was just thinking about Tiana's. Pirates, Tiana's, Small World. What else is there?
Just like water-based attractions inside Disneyland itself.
Yeah.
Submarines.
So yeah. Well, I guess it makes more sense now. See, because in my mind it's like there's only 1, but now there's, and I guess maybe I'm thinking because there's only thinking, well, anyway. So,
but these water-based attractions we know are people eaters, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I can zoom in on my end, but there's not letting me zoom in. It's not being replicated on the restream, but that's okay. So I'm looking at this again, and I see like caves off to the right. What I don't understand what they're doing with that. I have no idea what that is.
Yeah.
I see. And dude, and like, where is this? Is this like the pre-show? Is this like an area where you can just walk around and explore at your own pace?
Right.
Or is this part of the queue? Because there's a lot of cool elements of Rise of the Resistance that you just can't walk into, right? Like there's like you can't just go see the waterfall.
Correct.
But
it's tucked away.
Yeah. And you remember when we went with Galaxy's Edge had opened, we could hear the waterfall, but they wouldn't let us go back there. Remember that?
Yep. Yep.
So that was frustrating. But dude, yeah, I would love to sit down and have a conversation or be part of the design of what is the actual use case for this attraction. Because I'm gonna go. Let's just zoom in here real quick and talk about something since we are able to do this. Oh, we have a question, I'm sure. Let's see. A restaurant eating rainbow bugs? Oh, yeah. That's what Leon's saying. A restaurant eating rainbow bugs?
Yeah.
Sure. So with this in mind, let's just go over to my favorite thing. Which is right here. So that concept art, we have going like right in this area here. That's right in the middle of the screen. And that waterfall might obscure this monorail track. And all of this back to here is going to be full of this Avatar land. Dude, I don't know. I don't, I'm having a hard time with this one.
Yep.
It doesn't quite seem. I mean, maybe my depth perception's off, but I just don't see a whole lot without them taking out this stage 17. I mean, the Hyperion Theater.
Well, okay. So do not forget. Well, no, okay. Let's scroll. Can you go back up, please, to where the drop-off area is?
Let me zoom out.
Okay. So some of that is going to be taken up with this, is it not?
That's correct. Yeah.
So incorporate that into that. So that might get butted up to the Hyperion. See, this is where you have to think about, or you think about sightlines and flow, and how when they do this kind of stuff, and the flow is going to be really weird. Now, Coco is going to work. Coco works well with
We're not getting there yet, but
no, I know, but I'm just saying, I'm just using it as a comparison for everybody who knows about Coco, where that's going to go. You're like, okay, that flows perfectly into that. Now you're coming back over here and you're like, what is this going to be? And again, this is why I call it shoehorning. When you really look at it, it feels like it's going to get just shoehorned into a corner.
Okay, but let's look at this real quick. Keep this image right here. Okay, so we're talking about this image.
Right.
Where in the world is that going to be here? Is that going to be before the monorail or after the monorail?
Well, that becomes a good question, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know. The monorail is going to pose a very this is why I don't like any of these ideas, because the monorail poses a very interesting question.
Yep.
Which then is, you know, as I look at the art and I start looking at it, I feel like they're going to reroute the monorail. I'm beginning to feel more and more like they're going to reroute the monorail.
So instead of it banking in to the right here, because that's the way it goes, it comes over to the right. You think it's going to come down here and shoot across, or
no? It'll be shorter. I think they'll shorten the length.
Oh,
tighter,
and have like a much tighter arc.
Correct, and going closer into Disneyland proper, and then curve back around.
It could curve around there, and
So
then
you see that arc. So that's going to be tighter into Disneyland proper.
you think it's gonna wait a minute. You think it's gonna come in around, you can't see my mouse.
No.
But you think it's gonna almost follow the same arc as this one?
Yeah.
And then come around and then join back here over DCA?
Yeah.
Before it gets to the Grand Californian?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, again, looking at it over and over and over and over again. I keep on going back to it. Like, I don't see how else they're going to do it. I just don't see it.
But you know what? Now that we're talking about this, dude, look, we talked about this on the show the other day. A shuttle loop. You could have it start here at this side of the station, just go around and use this one track.
Right. Oh, well, while they reroute, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
And I honestly think that's probably a fair assessment. I feel like that's what's gonna wind up happening. I just really do.
Yep, absolutely. So my guess is if that does solve a lot of problems.
Yep.
For sure.
Yep.
Then they could really open up this section here.
Yep.
And someone said earlier today, I was watching it, that this footprint is bigger than it's a small world. The whole thing. The queue, which is right here.
Right. Well,
that pre-show, and that is what.
This is where I go with, if they're gonna do something, they need to make it cool. Like, as much as people love Small World, it's how old of an attraction?
64.
Right.
I think.
So think about the age of the attraction. Think about how I personally think that if they go through all of the trouble that it looks like they're going to do, because apparently Disney just wants to destroy stuff right now, to do it, you cannot make it small. I mean, Small World.
No.
I mean, not to make a joke out of it, but Small World is a small attraction. It's a short attraction. I don't think you can do that with Avatar and expect people to be like, this is cool. The wow factor and what Disney has been known for many decades is that attractions that are phenomenal. This day and age with Epic Universe, they got to come with it. If not, anything new coming out cannot be done unless it's like purposely like a little kids ride or something like that kind of thing. Sure, but anything big and attached to Bob Iger's apparent overexcitement about Avatar, which nobody's really into. But if you want to pull more people into it, then you better make it a really cool attraction. And
right.
I have a hard time believing, without anything, this is all, of course, assumption, that it's going to be that great in that little corner. And, you cannot use, I don't think Disney would be wise to use, little footprints and little things and small things like that. If they're going to come with it, they got to come with it. And we're in a different era now. And if Disney doesn't recognize that, and they may just blow, a few million to do this, and everybody's gonna be like, man.
Oh, a few million is gonna be more than that.
Well, whatever it's gonna wind up being, and people are gonna be meh about it. So you cannot have meh. So I don't know. Like I said, I don't know, but until they begin to be a little bit more detailed with stuff, like what they've done with Avengers Campus.
Yeah.
Like Avengers Campus, we can get in behind because that actually, looking at ride vehicles and stuff you're like, oh, that's cool. You're getting a story, you're getting all these kind of things. So we can get a little bit more behind that because of what they've literally shown. Like, these are the ride vehicles. We've seen patents for them. So we have a very good idea of like, this is what we're going to do for sure. And they're working on it now.
Well, we sort of have an idea with Shanghai Pirates of what this is going to be.
Well, yeah, but again, how long is Shanghai Pirates for an attraction? Shorter, right? Isn't it?
Longer.
I don't remember.
I don't remember.
Crap. Well, okay. So again, this is what I'm saying. So they cannot do anything half-assed. So if they're going to bring it, they're going to have to bring it, right? They're going to have to bring the text. They have to bring all the cool stuff. And this is what I'm saying. So I don't know if having a short attraction is going to be enough. So let's say they bring all the tech. They bring the Shanghai Disney or Pirates, with all the cool stuff that we've seen and heard. And to bring elements in, but if it's like a minute and a half ride, you're gonna be like, well, that sucked. You know what I mean?
No, this won't be a minute and a half.
So
it's got to probably be between 10 and 15-minute ride.
So that's what it should be. It should be a 15-minute ride. I mean, they've already established that they can do a 20-minute attraction. Okay.
Yeah.
They've established that they can do it, and I honestly think that if they're gonna bring it, then bring it. So bring in the elements of Rise of the Resistance, bring in that kind of feel, bring in that kind of storytelling, because I don't know how. Again, this is where I go back to it. I don't know how many people are really this into Avatar.
Yeah, probably not a whole lot.
That's what I keep on thinking.
Yep, but I mean, shoot. I mean, I think you're right. Well, in closing on this one, I think you're right about the monorail being rerouted. That would be the smarter play to do.
Yep.
However much that costs.
Yep.
And then it's going to have to reconnect somewhere before it gets to back into DCA. Well, okay. Let's look at our next stop over here. Let's just put a pin in that one for now, because we're going to be following this one for a long time. And we've got Coco. So Coco is very interesting, dude. And this one's got me really, really excited.
Yep.
About what is the possibility here. It's going to be more. I mean, this is what DCA doesn't have lands, but they have like neighborhoods. I guess is like the terms that they're using it. There's a lot of ways that this could go, but I envision some sort of village in here.
Yep.
And something that could also, at nighttime. And this is another thing, is DCA is probably going to have to adjust their hours to make it maybe stays late as Disneyland.
Well, I agree, because as much as they've been trying to make it an all-day single park that's where you go.
Yeah.
That's going to have to come hand in hand with it, is add more attractions. Awesome. Sure. Cool. But you're going to need to stop closing early. Like, that needs to stop.
Right.
You need to stay open. You
do. Yeah.
Longer. Yeah.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Now, how cool will it be if every night, since it's Coco theme, they could actually turn into that Day of the Dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sort of theming, sort of lighting packages at night. Mm-hmm. I mean, it would kind of go hand in hand, wouldn't it? With that?
Yeah. Yep. Well, without knowing, I don't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah.
If they've talked about story elements to it yet, have they?
No.
Okay. So again, what we know is it's going to have Dante and him, and it's going to be water based again.
Yeah.
And there we are. That's all we know. Which, to be fair, is more than we know about Avatar.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But they've got this. So I mean, they have this mission sort of top thing here, which is awesome.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to all this. But let's get into this real quick. Let me move the screen. And let me get the full picture here, so it's actually better for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And we do know that it's going to go. right in this spot right here in the middle.
Yep.
But what we don't know is this village going to go over to the right and then the attraction is going to go over to the left? Because I think this attraction is going to fit back in here somewhere.
I agree. Yeah.
So does that mean this whole area back here becomes like a village?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or do they create the village over into this boardwalk pizza and pasta?
No.
Where no one even goes to anyways, right?
No, they may incorporate, maybe change that into a different type of restaurant. But I don't see them getting rid of that.
But
the pasta out of there is really good.
I don't disagree, but this whole section back here, were from Paradise Gardens Bandstand. I mean, dude, all of that could be part of this Coco Village.
I agree. I don't know if they're going to go that hard into that though, but it could work.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could absolutely work.
It's either that or they make a, that mission back here and shoot, now I'm getting all crazy here. And this is a lot of room for a boat ride.
Where that building is and coming back. Yeah.
Yeah, all of this. Yeah.
Yep.
So
you look at the fence line, they can push that all the way back. They can back that to the surface street. They can do a lot right there and push a lot of that out. They have a lot of room right there.
Yep.
A lot of room.
Yeah.
When you compare that, I mean, look over and you're going to see, Incredicoaster and the Fun Wheel, and then look at those buildings. Those are big buildings.
Oh yeah.
So that is a lot of room. If you guys can see that scale and recognize how big that really is, that is a lot of room. To me, I would argue that's more room than what they're trying to put Avatar in. I could be wrong though, but I feel like this is more room.
Oh yeah.
Because you could I feel like they could almost construct all of that and keep that little service road along the backside just fine. And to be fair, they may have to, for fire purposes, keep that service lane in the back.
Sure.
That's what that is. Right there, that's a fire lane on the back.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, 100%, so firefighters can get in there in case of a fire. Because if they back it up to the road right there, they're not going to be cutting through fences. That is 100% an access road for them to come in with fire engines, emergency vehicles, and whatnot goes in there. So I don't think they get rid of that. Maybe they reroute it and make it right along the fence line so it doesn't have that curve to make up space, but they may not eliminate that at all. And they may not be able to, or they may have to come up with a plan to make sure that there's still something there for that kind of, emergency vehicles to come in and out.
Yep.
So
I think dude, I would be stoked if they just really converted this Paradise Gardens and Boardwalk Pizza into like a Coco Village with a really good Mexican restaurant, live music, arts and crafts, architecture,
a lot of stuff,
and also they could, like I said, they could convert this land at night to the Day of the Dead, right? And how cool would that be?
Yeah.
And just have like a walkway, I guess, that goes over to whatever this is to the boat ride. Yeah, I'm stoked, dude.
Yeah. I said it before, I'm gonna keep on saying this. I'm really, really, really happy for. I'm really excited for this. I really think this is gonna be a good one. And I think the decision to put it there is the correct one. And I think it's the best one that they could have made.
Yeah.
Yep.
And honestly, I'm more, let's get a couple of things straight though, is that this attraction really isn't made for you and I.
Coco?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this is going to be like a pretty calm boat ride.
Probably.
But I'm actually here for it. I mean, I'm stoked.
Oh, I am too. I think, again, that if they wanted to bring in that kind of Latin influence and story and heritage into the park, a lot of people, we've had the discussion like Encanto, and I said, no, Coco is the undisputed one that needs to come in. It has a longer history. And I would argue a bigger following, but because I'm not an Encanto fan, but I know there's plenty of people who do love that.
Right.
But I think Coco is just a better story to tell.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I don't know, and maybe it's the easier one to tell, also. But again, not knowing what they're going to do with the attraction. Are we going to have another adventure? Are we going to do something else like that? And I'm hesitant because lately, well, the only reason I'm really hesitant is because of what they did with TDA, okay, or TVA. They took a character and then they put it into a new story, but didn't do anything to promote the story, right?
Right. Right.
So I'm worried that they're going to try to do that again here, without a movie or anything to kind of set it up per se.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, most of the attractions that they have, the closer they are with their core original story, I think more people are going to stick with it. I mean, look at Cars is a good example. How many car movies are there? Right?
There's a few, right?
Right. And Radiator Springs, what does it stick to predominantly? The first one.
Yeah.
So we can go to Galaxy's Edge. What does the most people complain about Galaxy's Edge? As cool as everything is, blah, blah, blah.
Sure. Yeah.
It's not connected to the original story.
Right.
So, like I said, Tiana's one of the biggest critiques. The story's kind of wonk and it's not connected to the original story. So what are we doing here? I don't know. I that's my only concern. You look at all the classic rides, dark rides, they're basically, walkthroughs of the movies. And people love them. Peter Pan, right there. It's a walkthrough of the movie, for goodness sakes.
Yeah, I'm not.
And people gotta, go crazy for it.
But would you rather have it some like its own original story?
This is where I'm torn. Part of me says no. Part of me is like, no, just go tell me the story. I love that story. The story of Coco, unless they have another movie that comes out as well, then okay, maybe. But until that point, what do they have? They have the movie. They have Coco. Tell me that story. People love that story. It's the same thing with Moana.
Yeah.
We need a Moana 2. They made a Moana 2, and it's not a bad movie. But the original Moana is killer. It's a great movie. And if they make an attraction for Moana ever, I would also tell them stick to the first one because that one's incredibly popular. So this is where I get a little wonky with Disney because they're trying to push. Remember, I've made that critique about Disney for quite some time now, that they don't let us as the consumer tell them this is what we want. They're like, no, you want that, and we're like, that's cool, but I like that. No, you want that, and so it becomes that cycle.
Yeah.
And this is what they've been doing lately. No, you do want that. I mean, TVA, perfect example. You do want a new story, and a lot of people are like, no, I want the original. Like, where's Dr. Facility, blah, 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 and I can go on.
Rise of the Resistance is a total original story.
Yeah, but you know what is taken away with that?
What's that?
Is the immersiveness of the attraction. They pull you into the story.
Yeah.
These other attractions don't do that. They're not there. They're not there. I mean, Radiator Springs does a pretty good job when you think about it. And don't get me wrong, a lot of the other attractions do a good job as well. But when you come to Rise of the Resistance, they so pull you in from the beginning. And the story elements are just, you're part of it. 100% part of it. And the fact that and I think maybe one of the things that make it a lot more immersive is the fact that you're walking. You're not in a vehicle, kind of like, kind of looking at it from the outside, like I'm in this vehicle. When you go to Rise, you walk, you get into a vehicle, you go through the story elements, you come out of it, you're like, and they move you physically through the story, and you got to move yourself through the story. So it's a little bit different because of that. I feel like that's why I think a lot of us are pulled into it because we're literally walking through the story. So
yeah,
at least that's what works for me. So these are a little bit different. This is why the queues are important for a lot of the attractions. Why Disney spent so much time in the queues is because it's meant to point in the story until you're on the ride vehicle, and then you're going through the actual ride.
Right.
So ride is a little bit different because they put you on one, then take you off it, then put you on another one. So they move you around physically, or you move yourself. So yeah, a little bit different.
Well, I think this Coco ride is going to be pretty much the story of Coco.
Yeah, and I hope, and I'd
Yeah,
be 100% fine with it. I'd be like, cool.
Yeah,
it makes me happy.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, so two big attractions come into DCA. Let's take a look at the we have a minute, or we have a 10 minutes.
Okay.
Let's see here. I'm not sure if I can make that any bigger. No, I can't. On my end, it won't make it any bigger, but that's fine.
Yeah.
So, what got you? Oh, sorry. What got you mostly excited about this concept art?
Well,
the pros and cons.
Well, to be honest, I don't see a lot of cons in that. I don't. I think it adds a little bit more leeway, or maybe that's the wrong word, but a little bit more ease of entering the park, because you have right now you have the people walking and the buses, and we all funnel in right there. And this is kind of the same idea, but the fact that you're going to have, it looks like multiple entrances, like you have the walkway going over, and then you have the other gate going underneath. I feel like it's going to make it a little bit easier to move through there. You don't have to cross the street. You don't have to pile up there and queue up on the corners and things like that. You're just going to go up the sky bridge and go up and over, right?
Yeah.
So that being said, I think it's going to add an interesting element, and if they're going to light it, they're going to do all this stuff, and I think it's going to be cool. I think just seeing that sky bridge going up and over, and then having the people moving through at night, I think, I honestly feel like one of the coolest things that once this project is all done, said and done, and it's being used by people, I honestly think one of the coolest things that I'm going to get an odd kick out of is that day of, end of day, you're going to be, going back to your hotel or whatever it may be, or walking along the street, and I'm going to see a ton of people walking that bridge, with whatever, they may have balloons or light up whatever, lightsabers and stuff like that, walking along that bridge, realizing that they just had an awesome day. And I think that's really cool. It's a really cool little thing that I actually can't wait to see, because it just makes me smile. It'll make me smile.
Oh yeah.
So, and then they're adding they're kind of doing throwback to the what you call it? Why I can't think of the name? The sign, the Disney sign.
This one might be a better picture for us to use. Give me a second. A little bit better.
Yeah, that works.
Okay. So just let's talk about like we've got a question already. Hold on. Bring me in, send me a link.
We're almost done though.
almost done. Next time, Leon.
Well, if you want, wants to come on for 5.
Do you have the link?
I don't.
That
stuff.
I don't even know how to. Well, hold on. I might be able to do that. Give me a second. Give me a second here.
Hey, hold on. Don't.
I
Hold on.
I just sent you the link to it. I don't have Leon's thing. I sent you the link to it, Udi.
No, it's fine. Hold on. I just got the link. Hold on.
You got like 5 minutes.
No, he's texting right now, so I'm just communicating with him. Yeah, we only have like 5 minutes. Next time, dude.
Yeah. So let's talk over like the flow of traffic here. So guests coming over Harbor Boulevard, they are coming from a parking garage. And I assume that parking garage is going to have security, right? Like that's where you scan in to go to the park?
Where?
Coming from the parking garage.
Yeah.
So all the folks coming off the parking garage are going to be already have gone through security.
I would think so. And then that way, like I said, the main security bottlenecks are going to be. It looks like they're going to be taken care of, kind of, because of how they're going to have that now moved over to where the sign is. Right, that's going to be the new security checkpoint.
Or just beyond the sign, there's other stuff too.
Yeah.
But what about, you see that spiral staircase thing going around?
Yes.
What about people coming off the street? Are those folks aren't going to be having gone through security?
So that's why I'm starting to think that the security checkpoint will be further in.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Yeah.
If that's what the case is.
Yeah.
But I love the lighting packages that they're going to have on this.
Yes.
Right. I mean, I think this is going to look spectacular.
Yes.
I love the Disneyland logo.
Yeah.
Oh, that's probably like an elevator thing too. That disc in the middle.
It has to be. It has to be. They need to have that. ADA requires.
Yep. And then just winding down there, like in the far upper left, that is the gates to the park. So that's how far back we are with this. So
yeah,
right where that D is, or just like a quarter inch to the left in the art, that's going to be the end of Avatar.
Yep.
And
it's going to be butted up right against it.
Yeah, so that's actually pretty far in, dude.
Yeah.
I mean,
interesting.
What's that?
Interesting. I'm trying to I'm like trying to picture it in my head with the existing.
Well, right where it says Disneyland Resort, that sign like underneath it and just beyond is right where they're dropping off buses. Probably like the third one back. So that's going to go back pretty dang far. I mean, that's going to go back really, really far.
Mm-hmm. Which I'm looking, because look at the monorail, right?
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, in this concept art, monorail.
No,
go ahead.
The monorail, yeah. Look at it in the concept art. The monorail won't be banned. They're gonna keep it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're gonna do it like you were saying, gonna go up and all the way around.
Well, since we have the magic here. I don't know, dude. That's that. I don't see where the monorail is going to go, but clearly the concept art shows it coming down.
Yep.
Uh, they're not going to carve.
It's concept art, though. To be fair.
Yeah, you're right. To be fair.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's not going to come all the way around here and go all the way down to that. Although that would be cool.
Yeah.
But I just can't see them doing that.
No. Because it cuts through too many.
Yeah.
Things like that.
So where that Disneyland sign is,
Yeah.
it's probably like right. Shoot, dude, probably like right in the middle there.
Yeah. Yep.
So that's like a few hundred feet that this is going to have to get raked out. Because this pinch point's going to be gone.
Yep. Yep. Because you got to be thinking that they're going to try to eliminate that, because that's the side that the vast majority of people go through.
Right.
To come into the park.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Yes.
Wow. We're going to talk more about this as the months and the years roll on.
Correct.
All right, we're at an hour. Do you think this is going to be this time next year? Are we going to see any progress on this thing?
No. Well, wait. Didn't they give a date for Mike and Sully to be closed?
July 2026.
Yeah. So yeah. Yeah, no. In a year, no. I don't.
No, I don't think so. But once they get going with this, dude, it's going to take so long for them to get this thing completed.
It's going to be years. It's going to be years.
Yeah.
Yep.
Leon says nope. No, we're not going to have this done. It's even started next year.
No.
But dude, I don't know what to say about it, because in 3 years they're going to have right now. In 3 years' time, the Summer Olympics are going to be kicking off down there.
I don't. Yeah.
Do you think they're going to start before that, and this is going to be just a big CF? Or do you think they're going to wait till the Olympics are done and then push this out?
It would make more sense if they waited till after the Olympics.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're probably not going to do that.
Well, I think Avengers Campus is going to be done, and I think Coco is going to be done before the Olympics. If they're going to start this fall.
They both, because to be fair, because they can both do that off stage. They don't need to do a bunch of demo and stuff like that. They got to do demo for both, but they're off stage.
Yeah.
So that gives them leeway and ease of work. Kind of what they did with Galaxy's Edge. It was away from everything. It was out of bounds and out of everybody's way.
Right.
So those two elements, those two attractions are going to be exactly the same thing. They'll be behind scrim walls or walls, construction walls, and that's that.
Yep.
We shall see. Those two are going to be cool, and I think it'd be really, really smart of them to make sure those two are up and running before they do anything here with any of this stuff.
Well,
yeah.
They can't do anything with Avatar until that concept art is realized. Well, no, actually, they could work in parallel, I suppose.
They could, but I feel the reason why I say that is because they need to have the attractions up and running, so people would put up with all the construction, all that stuff, because well, they have these new things to go do.
Yeah.
So you still need to have pull to the park. So it being that Disneyland proper isn't going to have anything going on. Refurb, whatever, blah, 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 but it's no Galaxy's Edge, it's no Tiana Bayou. They're not doing anything like that. They're not messing with Disneyland proper for hopefully ever again, other than when they're going to actually take Tiana and make it the original movie. But other than that, yeah. They're gonna try to still keep people going to DCA, which is the intelligent thing to do. Yeah. But have the new attractions up and running, so that people are still gonna go there, and they're gonna not be so annoyed by all the other stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, Leon's got a question.
That's a complicated question. It's not an easy question. They've done a lot to do it. So, Avengers Campus, they did San Francisco. So those are really the only things that are pulling right now.
Well, plus
people do like those, but a lot of people have grown up with that, so they're naturally inclined to go to that park. We're not. We grew up in a different era where that wasn't even there.
Right.
You know what I mean? So there's how many thousands of people that's the only Disneyland they know. Millions of people, that's the only Disneyland they know with DCA there. We have the recollection. So for us, the pull isn't anywhere near as much as Disneyland, but for other people, it's another park. There's elements in them that are fun and cool. Like I said, Mission Breakout is fun. It's awesome. Radiator Springs is fun. I don't mind Mickey's Wheel of Death, and Credit Coaster is cool. All those kind of things are cool, and most people like to drink there.
Yeah.
Well, no, and see, that's my point. That it does not sound like much. That's why they're trying to make into an all-day park.
Yeah.
That's why these attractions are starting to come in, because they're trying to make it where they can.
Yeah.
They're trying to make it where they can charge you $140 and $140 or $150, $160 each park. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then that way, when they go, well, I want a park hopper. Yeah, it's going to be an extra $100 or whatever. That kind of thing. So they're trying really hard, and this is, to me, I don't mind it because the incentive is there to make the park better. Cool. That way they can make more money. Fine. But make it better, make it worth it. And that's always the thing, is currently for us, the value incentive isn't there for DCA. And for me right now, it's even hard for me to say Disneyland. But that's what they're trying to do. So we shall see if they pull it off.
We shall see.
Yep.
Well, all right. Well, let's wrap that up now. It's an hour and 8 minutes. Yeah. Okay. So kind of a slow show tonight, but that's okay. It happens. We'll get better each time. Again, if you're listening to this on replay, do take a moment and subscribe to the channel. We're at 51 followers. Let's get to 55. Dude, once we get to like 1,000, then we can actually start monetizing stuff, dude. That's crazy, huh?
Never going to happen. YouTube sucks.
949 more people.
YouTube sucks. Anyway. Love you.
Anyway. Every other Monday, the LTP proper show comes out on all of your favorite streaming platforms. Episode 225 is in the can. That'll be coming out not this Monday, but July 6th.
Mm-hmm.
July 6th. So again, info@leavingtodaypodcast.com is the way you can send us an email. Follow us on Instagram at Leaving Today Podcast, and also leavingtodaypodcast.com. We have our regular site there. All right. So I'm going to say peace out from Udi and myself. Thanks again for hanging out with us. Thank you, Leon, for adding to the conversation. And if you want to come on, dude, next time, let us know, and we'll have you on for the full show.
Yep.
Oh, Leon said something.
Yep.
Episode 225. Yeah. Wild. Wild.
Mhm.
All right.
All right.
Love you guys. See you.